What's up, guys? So I don't really believe in that kind of thing, the best solo. I do believe in ideas that can be expressed well. I do believe that we can learn a lot from different people that express themselves well, emotionally, artistically. And what I want to do today is taking an iconic solo that I didn't know until recently, if to be quite honest, but I think it's really great. It has a lot of beautiful elements, and I want to kind of break it down and see what we can get from that solo, what devices we can really grab, because I think a lot of the problem sometimes is that we'll listen to our heroes and just be like, oh, Jimi Hendrix is just a genius and don't want to touch it, kind of. And that's a problem, because then we don't actually learn information. But by listening, transcribing, breaking it down, we can actually take devices to our own world and create with. So yeah, let's do it. All right, so the solo I chose for today is Hotel California. Yes, indeed. I think it's a great solo. It's also a beautiful song, and yeah, let's just try and see what's happening there. Let's check it. You can never leave. All right, so what I want to see is exactly what is happening there. 1, 2 people talking. This is the name of the device I want to break down. And what's happening here, the way I see it, the line is this. I kind of see it as someone saying like, hey, what's up? All is good. So it's kind of like almost question and answer. And more than the line itself, which is cool, I want to take that idea, that concept of feelings like, oh, I'm saying something and I'm responding and then someone is answering. Just like this sort of communication, if that makes sense. So listen to that. Very kind of like almost mirroring that. Like, yeah, what's up? Ah, all good. All right, so let's take that idea into a loop, just like A minor kind of loop. Just because it's simple. We'll try to use that. First, I'll play the same line over that. Here we go. Worked magically, but just because of the key. But now let's move it. Still using the same rhythms. Right? Very simple, very expressive. So, like you see, I can really just not even transcribing the actual notes. Great idea, but more than that is what's behind it. What is the intention? What is the meaning? And even more so, how can we take it and do something with it, spin it and utilize it in our music, in our creation. So for me, again, like I would really write it down. I would say like, okay, he's doing this, like whatever kind of triggers you, 2 people talking, this is how I see it right now. So I can really take it again to A minor. But it doesn't even have to be that shape. It could be just that emotion, that expression. Whatever kind of makes you feel that way, and then you can make cool things with it. All right, let's go to number 2. Oh, so the album is out. It's in the world. Thank you so much for coming to Brooklyn Bowl. We had a blast. If you couldn't make it to Brooklyn Bowl, I'll post some videos soon. Yeah, I'm really happy it's out. I'm really, really excited to share this music with you. It's been almost a year now in process. So yeah, thanks again for listening, and yeah, thank you. 2. Now we're gonna grab the other phrase. So what I care about this phrase, right, is playing. That's cool. It's not about really the bending and all that. For me, it's really looking at that a little bit from the outside. So what's happening here? The same line twice, and that's really important. Like seeing the cells of information and the repetition, like really tagging it in this kind of way. it's almost like saying, oh, this is guitar, this is white, this is black, so you know, this is a color we can all understand and communicate. There are tag words, right? So this is like a section A, so AA in that way. And that's really helpful when we're soloing and creating, to like see the repetition. And what I want to take from that is basically doing that element, not playing the same line, which is cool line, no problem with that, and even not playing the, not trying to bend, but trying to take the same idea of AAB. So playing the same statement twice and then changing to something else. Let's try it in A minor. Right, so I didn't do almost anything here. I played literally that, and then I changed it something, and all I'm using right now is literally a minor pentatonic. So let's try one more line, but again, I hope you see and understand the concept, like, okay, repetition and then something else. So repetition creates context, right? So when we speak a language, we say, oh, guitar. So we just imagine this object and we like, oh, guitar, yeah, of course. But with notes, it's a little different, right? So we can kind of play the same idea twice, so we kind of have a sort of connection with the audience and they can imagine the sound. You start imagining that phrase. And then I change it, but the change was coming from a place of information, right? I say, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, how are you feeling? So the difference, that little change, which has almost the same meaning as well as, which is maybe a little different, but that intention is close. So by doing that, we can really create a lot. Let's try to hear it again. Here we go. So, like you see, I played the same idea twice and then I went to something else. For me, it could be a shorter idea, it could be a longer idea. It doesn't need to be complex or simple. It could be anything you imagine, but just using that idea is really, really cool. All right, let's go to number 3. 3. Remember that cool moment that he kind of bends that note, but then he grabs another one, right? So that idea of having two notes, two different notes at the same time is really, really cool. I think it's beautiful. It's a great sound. We call it double stops. Some people call it dyads. Everything is accepted here. But I think as a concept, we can try to implement it in our solo. Instead of playing lines, which is really fun, we can play a line and then add a dyad. Now, the dyad could be literally just two notes, or it could be a note that we're adding another note to it and bending. Now, how would I know what notes work? Great question. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna try and focus on notes within the pentatonic scale. So we're gonna really kind of be using these notes. So how would we know? What we're gonna do is literally try. So we'll take, for example, an A. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna grab an A and a G. Spicy. A and an E, A and a D, A and a C, A and an A. Oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, okay, so maybe I'll take these three ideas. Octave is also nice, so. Ooh, okay, so I like this. So I'm gonna start from this and just chromatically go here. Not by chance, this is the flat 5. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll start with a simple idea here. And then we'll go. What I'm doing here is like literally E to D sharp, D, Sorry, the snare is on. My bad. Right, so like you see, I'm just grabbing an idea, a concept that I grabbed from, and then I'm saying, okay, what are the optional connections that I can make? So I'm taking a note and I'm taking the scale and seeing how it sounds, and I'm choosing what I liked, and I like these three, and then I just added one more chromatic thing. Then I said, okay, take it into a phrase and then play it in time and try to create something with it. Again, you can do whatever you feel like, but just try to take kind of the seed, the element, the self-information from those solos and those ideas and bring it home and create with it. Ready for number 4? 4. All right. So at the last part of the solo, I mean, that first line that we transcribe and talking about here, he's playing basically, right? So he's kind of bending. Sorry, it's here, and then he's doing that thing. So that idea, that sound, he's basically going to E major. So just briefly, right? We're playing Hotel California. The chords are B minor. It's kind of like F sharp over A sharp, A major, E major over G sharp. Wow. G, D major over F sharp is kind of inversion, E minor, and then F sharp. That's the A section, if you will. So we just kind of got to this after the A major. We got to the E major over G sharp. So basically, first inversion, E major. So what he was doing here was playing the A to the G sharp, A, G natural to the G sharp, basically surrounding that 3. So if you're playing the chord A major, E, and then G sharp is the 3rd, so he's playing it here, but then chromatically surrounding. It's not completely chromatically because A is kind of a scale tone, so it is a half step from G sharp, but it's basically a scale tone, the right tone, scale tone, chromatic, the right tone. So it's kind of what we call enclosure. So basically, if I'm playing that in C major, I would play, and I want to just make sure this is really clear. So 1, 3, 5 here, and I'm surrounding each one of these notes, 1, 3, 5, with a scale tone, chromatic note from beneath, and then the actual note that I'm trying to get. So scale tone, that F, chromatic to the 3, scale tone, chromatic to the 5, scale tone, chromatic to the 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, just C major. So he was doing exactly that on that E major there, again with the bend, cool bend, and basically playing that. So let's take that idea for a second. In A minor, I'll play a loop with one chord, just A minor, so we can do that. And here's the fingering that I might use for that. One more time. Also, this will be on the Patreon. You can check it out if that's helpful for you, all the information and stuff we talked about here today. So let's try to solo on this for a second. So all I did right now was that idea of enclosures surrounding that note A scale tone, the note chromatic note, and then the same thing here to the C, and then just playing that E, a little bend. Let's try one more idea. Right, so all I did is the same thing in reverse, and then just played some kind of pentatonic idea here. But again, surrounding that C note, 3rd, and then that's it. You can continue again, it's kind of an exercise, But you don't have to do the whole thing. You can just grab a bite from it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this was a little bit helpful. I hope that, you know, when you listen to music, you love a lot of artists and you check them out. And instead of just putting people on a pedestal, it's really great to listen and be kind of like critical in a very positive way, but just like saying like, okay, what did he use actually? Why does this sound so good, right? So if I'm listening to a Coltrane solo or a Brett Mehldau or Keith Jarrett or Jimi Hendrix or, you know, anything that you like, basically ask yourself what makes this piece of music tick, what makes it really happen. And you can write on a piece of paper as well, literally say like, oh, he's playing this cool idea that sounds like XYZ. He's playing this line and then he's playing a pentatonic and then he's doing a run. So you can kind of write the concepts and take them and do some stuff with that. All right, I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you and have a great week. Peace.